Isn't grasping a reflex? Okay, guys. One of the main reasons I hear it, I know I'm here, is people think it's because of movement lesson. I'm here to teach you about development. That's my expertise. I'm a development expert, as well as a special needs expert, as well as a high performance expert. One of my biggest angst is when someone says, look at how smart my baby is. They're only 2 months old and they're holding a bottle. And I just posted a thing where a baby is holding, a newborn is holding and sipping out of it. And they're just thinking, wow, this is an amazing baby. Guys, this is so CP, it's not even funny. This can't happen. Understanding development is key to, I mean, before I die, there will be a 4-year degree on infant development, movement sciences, not kinesiology. It'll be system mechanics versus biomechanics. But the way that we've been presented movement goes back to the 14th century. It's just got to stop. When a baby, palmar reflex, right? Everyone thinks your reflex is this. This is CP. You do not want a fisted baby. When a baby is learning how to move, and you'll see it in their first days of life, right? What they're doing is they're articulating, they're coming off the floor, they're responding to gravity, and the hands are going in and out, almost like seaweed, right? Because we don't realize that we push against gravity. Unless I take you right now to outer space, or if you've been in the pool for a long time and you feel heavy coming out. But imagine if this cloth was gravity, right? A baby is learning in equal momentum. That open and close, as we see it, needs to be equal. We don't want, the shudder. I can tell you right now, if a baby is going into these kind of movements, if you want to call it reflex integration, and the bogus way that they evaluate reflexes, and I've just seen about 4 posts today, and I'm just like, ugh, because I'm really working hard on my reflex course, because the way that they evaluate and present, they don't take into consideration anything. Vision, birth trauma, the quality of the birthing, all of those kind of things, the bone to mass to skin ratio, because if you have a premature child, you've got too much skin, so there's no way your tonus is going to set up properly. And these are the things, and if I hear one more time that it's flight or flight, I'm sorry, if this place is on fire, every 2-year-old's going to be looking for marshmallows. There's no flight or flight. The flight or flight, when your child has had a near-death experience where, again, they just didn't get oxygen, and you say, oh, they don't remember those things. I'm telling you right now, the intelligence of that child is going to fight to live. That is a difference. And to disregard that kind of intelligence for a baby and now call it flight or flight, oh, heck no. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with a child right now, and they're going through reflex integration, and it was a Zoom that I had. But we've got 2 cardiac arrests and all of that, and oxygen deprivation. I'm telling you right now, if even I put this over that child's mouth right now, they're going to fight for breath because they've lost it. You've never lost your breath. You do not know what it's like. But when you've gone through these experiences, and we have to start respecting what babies go through and different things. So again, if you're looking at palmar, right, learn to see, of course, without the cloth, learn to see how that evenness of going in and out, like if you still saw them, like imagine your baby's still in water. But if you're getting this, or worse, where the thumb's coming in, this, that, and the other, yeah, you've got a reflex integration, but you've got, there's more going on than that. You'll know by your newborn movement assessment. You'll know from the birth trauma. And again, you might not have birth trauma, but the baby could have stroked in utero. But any baby who's sitting like that and you think that that's them holding, there's some kind of neurointelligence, that they're just having, a cold one after a birth. This is dangerous stuff. And yes, I get it that people go, you stroke the palm and you get this. This is not a functional movement. I don't want you doing this to the babies. When a baby is first, like again, and don't give them these things too early, because you'll be like, oh, look, they're holding the ball. Any baby, if they're neurotypical, they're learning weight differentials and they'll just release it, right? And it's the same thing what's going on with the coccyx and the anus. That's why babies can't control, and potty train them when they're a day old, because the fecal matter is going down to the coccyx and they're learning gravity. And then at some point there's too much weight on that and it releases and they just poo. And at some point you start to have control over that. So we feel that weight starting to hit. And then we decide when we're going to release it. Oh, I have to go to the restroom. Let me go. And that's the same thing with mouthing things. They're learning the same kind of concept. So the gravity response is really the mouth to the anus. So we have 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and it's the mouth to anus as far as that relationship to go. But when they're the ball is just as important this way as it is this way. Right? And they shouldn't be grasping it. It's not a grasp reflex. They're learning how to do the weight and so forth, and then it'll release, and then you bring it back. But you're looking for that play. You're looking for that interaction. You're not looking for, oh, I can hold a ball, because they're certainly not going to turn around and throw it. It's just not. So when you're seeing a baby like this, and then you start to see those neural responses, stop. Because you're now putting them into like almost, I hate to say it, like an electrocution. It's like, oh, I'm stuck with this weight and I can't release it. It's like a clonus. And so, and it needs to be at that. And then around 4 months to 4.5, and this is where grabbing the feet is so important, they'll start to play like a little polar bear, and they'll start to bring it, and they'll start to bring things to midline, and then they'll cross midline. Right? That's how hand movement, fine motor skills work in a baby. But if you're seeing them to grasp onto something, again, like an electrocution, and they can't let go, they don't have active passive muscle. That is the first thing that they're learning. Oh, my muscles are activated, but they're passive. My muscles are activated, but they're passive. That's typical development for your fine motor skills. So again, it's the quality of the movements, the quality of the motions. And for people that say that we can't tell that a day-old baby's in trouble, we've got to start learning this stuff. We have to start learning it. I can't be the only one out there that just sees movement where, okay, we're going into trouble here. We're going into trouble. We don't want this. And I just had someone here with a 16-month-old. And guys, I'm not trying to say that all babies have problems. What I'm trying to say is we can just make movement better. We can have a better appreciation, just like wine. Do you want to drink the $2 chuck, or do you want to, you know what I mean? Like, just to have that sophistication of movement, and especially in our babies. But it breaks my heart when your response is like, I wish I would have known about this sooner. I wish I'd have been, but you don't know to, because everybody's telling you, wait and see. Oh, you can't do anything with babies. It's just basic play. It's just enjoy and play with them, but work on the functional movements, work on these things, and play with these things. You could be watching TV. You can be at a park on a blanket and be doing a tummy time course or a rolling over course. Let them just experience the movement, and anyway, our babies need help. And I'm really just trying to teach you, and I hope I'm doing a good job teaching you. It's a frustration Friday for me, but really it has nothing to do with the parents. It's the professionals that are around it, and I see it on Facebook all day long. I saw this kid where they were shoving his head down and looking before and after and hitting a laser. They had him on some kind of BiPAP machine, and I'm like, you didn't do anything with the pelvis. You didn't do anything with the feet. You didn't do anything with his vision. You just like pushed his head down, pushed his up, and made him work out. I just don't get it. Anyway, I'm sorry. Maybe that's what I should call these videos, Frustration Fridays. But the palmar reflex or grasping reflex, right? And by the way, reflexes don't integrate. They mature. They go into, just like if you're throwing a ball. Now, so you're bringing things in and then you have to bring things out. And these kind of reflexes and the response to movements continue. They should always have weight transfer. They always should have transitional movements, just like a milestone. But please don't go into a young baby under 4 months of age and expect them to hold anything. If they are holding it, whether you like it or not, we've got problems, and there's stuff going on. They're going into a more of a grasp, and that is not a reflex. And so, but when we just have that problem of evaluation, and going into that and getting either hyper or hyper responses. And also too, they should interact from here. There's no bad touch. They should interact from all different aspects, right? But again, when you have a genetics or a low tone baby, then it just falls off of them. And then that would be another warning sign of just the like, and because they're just, again, there should be some interaction with that, but not a hold. Especially with a day-old baby, much like I said, if a parent's bragging that a child's holding a bottle at a young age, immediately, again, I've got CP warning flags going all over the place because they're grasping, right? But there's no, that my vision shuts down. They're not, you know what I mean? And they're just doing this, and the parents are encouraging this. And what's worse is they're going to too long of a bottle. And that's another thing is, babies shouldn't have a long bottle because, again, you don't want the weight going away. That interrupts your speech and eating functions. So those are just things to look for and understand reflexes. Thanks.